Good morning. Watching Daybreak on this 18th day of February 2025. In studio, I have Dr. Makali Mulu, Member of Parliament for Kitui Central. He's also a member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee and the Vice Chair on the committee responsible for matters public debt. Good morning, Dr.
Good morning, Sam. Thank you for hosting us.
Stephen Mogaka is the Member of Parliament for West Mogirango. Good morning.
Good morning, Sam, and thank you for hosting us. I am the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee.
Yeah.
And then don't tell me there's any injustice in Kenya, as well as the Decentralized Funds Committee,
right,
which oversees how our colleagues implement the NGCDF funds.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. And of course, we're still expecting the arrival of Senator Diokech from Migori County and Member of Parliament for Nyeri Town Constituency, Duncan Mathengi. As soon as they're here, they'll be joining the conversation. But this morning, even before we look at the papers, we are mourning the passing away of the Member of Parliament of Malava, Malulu Injendi. The communication came yesterday, and also communication from the Speaker of the National Assembly indicating that the Member of Parliament had been suffering for some time in hospital, but he passed on yesterday, and he remembers him as a man of integrity who served his constituents since the year 2013. He was in his third term of service. And let me begin with you, Dr. Makali Mulu. Your thoughts at this time?
Yeah, it's indeed sad, Sam, that we've lost our colleague, Honorable Injendi. We joined Parliament the same day with the gents, and we have been there since then together. Injendi was a very focused parliamentarian, very keen matters in education and the service to his people, and that's why he was able to be in Parliament for 3 consecutive terms with no break. So at this moment, I want to take this opportunity to condole with the family and send my sympathies to the people of Malava and Kenya at large, because we've lost a great man. At this moment, the only thing we can do is to pray to God that God will strengthen the family and comfort them during this difficult time. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Sure. Yourself, Mheshimiwa?
Thank you so much. I want to join my senior, Dr. Makali Mulu, and on behalf of the people of West Mogirango, I condole with the family of Honorable Malulu Injendi and the people of Malava. I'm my first time Member of Parliament, and I do remember Mr. Injendi, Honorable Injendi, as a very soft-speaking, almost religious Member of Parliament. Our mentor, those of us who are doing our first term, and he is a man I will remember as very inspiring, and I picked up his burning desire to make Kenya an educated community. And that is why in West Mogirango you will see a lot of development in education and education infrastructure. I miss my senior, and I do pray that Almighty God does rest his soul in eternal peace.
Indeed, and so many messages have been coming in from different leaders, from the president, who says that he was a towering leader who selflessly served the people of Malava constituency, a believer of equal opportunities. Mheshimiwa was diligent, focused, and devoted to public service. He will be he will best be remembered for his passion for education. Our prayers are with the family, friends, and the people of Malava. And I want to get what Professor Kithure Kindiki said on the passing on of the Member of Parliament for Malava constituency, and says that death has robbed Kenya, a dedicated leader and friend of many. Of course, continues to say that grace, peace and prayerful thoughts for his family and constituents during this moment of pain and grief. And there's also a post here by the former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, who says that his passing on today has left a big gap in his family and the people of Malava constituency. Honorable Njendi was my close friend when he served in the 12th Parliament. I'm saddened by his death. My deepest sympathies to his family and the people of Malava constituency and the great people of Western Kenya region. May his soul rest in eternal peace. But a day earlier, that is on Sunday, the country received the news of the passing on of Senator William Cheptumo, who had served in Parliament this was his 4th term, having served as Member of Parliament, and then was elected Senator of Baringo in the year 2022. And the funeral committee that has been making preparations has communicated that the funeral will be on the 1st of March 2025, and it is led by the former Cabinet Secretary, that is Simon Chelugui. Your thoughts, because I believe you also served with him.
Yes.
In the House.
It's actually, really, as I said earlier, Sam, as Parliament, we've really been hit hard because Senator Cheptumo was also our colleague. I served with him 11th Parliament and 12th Parliament. But he was my senior in that he joined the 10th Parliament and then moved to the Senate. So you can see he's a member who was able to serve 4 consecutive terms with no break. And what we remember him most for was his push for security in the North Rift part of this country, where, you know, Baringo has suffered a lot of insecurity. So even though he was a lawyer and he served in the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, where Honorable Mogaga is serving, he was very keen on matters security, and I'm sure he'll be remembered for that. And all said and done, he must have served his people very well to be able to elect him 3 or 4 times to be their member of Parliament and also a senator. So I want also to pass my condolences, sincere condolences to the people of Baringo, Baringo County, and also Kenya, because this is a gentleman who has served this country with a lot of commitment. We will miss him, but may his soul also rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
All right, and of course he is also a former Assistant Minister at the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs under the Grand Coalition government in the years 2008 to 2013. Joining us now is Duncan Mathenge, Member of Parliament for Nyeri Town constituency. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Good morning, Sam, and thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Right, and you are mourning the passing on of Senator William Cheptumo, and just a few minutes ago you were mourning Honorable Njendi, who served in the House. I don't know if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Let me join the rest of the Kenyans and my colleagues in sending my condolences as the Member of Parliament, and also on behalf of the people of Nyeri Town constituency, to the families and the constituents, both of Baringo and Malava. As an aspiring Member of Parliament, I have followed the legendary members who have served in Parliament for quite a while, and Senator Cheptumo does stand out because of the time, and especially his experience and participation on issues security and the laws that needed to come in, because Baringo has been a hotspot of insecurity in the country, and even as a senator he has continued on that crusade. And of course, the resting of Marulu Njendi, again, a 3rd-time Member of Parliament. I think that is also quite a bit of a loss to the legislature in terms of the experience that these 2 departed colleagues brought into Parliament. Right.
Mheshimiwa Mogaga, your thoughts, Senator Cheptumo?
Thank you. I associate myself with the condolences of my colleagues. I remember Senator Cheptumo more as my learned friend in the practice of law before he became elected as a Member of Parliament from Baringo. I also do remember Senator Cheptumo as an Assistant Minister in Justice and Legal Affairs of this country. Indeed, the people of Baringo would not have done better than continuously elect him because of his dedication and service to the Republic. I mourn him, and on behalf of the people of West Mugrango, I do deliver our condolences and assure the family that you will not walk alone. in the journey to lay your loved one.
Senator Eddie Oketch now joins us. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Sam.
I've not seen you in a very long time, but welcome back to the show.
I'm a regular guest here.
I think I'm the one who has not been regular as such. Yes. So you lost a colleague on Sunday, and that's the man that we are remembering. I don't know if you have any thoughts and reflections on the service together.
This is a very painful experience because William Cheptumo is one of the soberest people I've ever met. We joined Parliament when we had a lot of challenges and a lot of differences across the political divide. And sometimes my memories in the House is during those heated discussions, both in committees as well as different avenues that we could be able to debate. And one of the people who could be able to bring us back to reason, to bring us back to the quest for national, cohesion was Senator William Cheptumo. So it's a big loss to his family, but it's also a big loss to the Senate of Kenya. We really will miss him, and we just pray for peace and grace to his family, his loved ones, and most importantly, the people of Baringo, because of the trust that they bestowed upon him, and the service that he brought with that trust. Has been something that is priceless, and it's my sincere sorry. And I know while we mourn him, the National Assembly has also lost Honorable Malulu, who is the MP for Malava. The same pain trickles, and it's unfortunate that we are losing elderly people, fairly very wise and very knowledgeable as matter of governance is concerned, but most importantly, they were the voice of reason that could be able to bring out some sense of cohesion when there was tension in Parliament. And we mourn him, and we stand with the family as much as we can as members of Parliament.
Right, and of course, like I said earlier on, Senator Cheptumo will be laid to rest on the 1st of March 2025. And I want us to transition. If you had to look at the papers this morning, the main story on the Standard is about taming Raila. Even before the dust has settled on Raila Odinga's loss in the African Union race, a push for his appointment as Prime Minister is gaining momentum. Proponents want President Ruto to implement the NATCO report, creating the position in the Constitution. Raila's decision could reshape the political landscape ahead of 2027. If you look at the front page of the Daily Nation, it's why Kenya keeps losing top jobs race. Analysts argue country's latest defeat at African Union attributable to familiar missteps. And you see a series of some of the elections or the contests that Kenya has lost at the global stage, running all the way from, excuse me, from 2017 to 2025. And of course, there's been a lot of indications as to what may have gone wrong with the AUC race, and we'll be hearing from the leaders here. And I want us to first listen to what the Member of Parliament for Belgut said yesterday on the show in regards to what should happen, which is also quoted by the Standard this morning. Watch this.
We have cabinet secretaries who are doing exemplary well, who are tapped from Azimio la Umoja, let me just say ODM, for instance.
Yep.
And they have done a great job. Raila Odinga, he's coming back home. What will Raila Odinga be doing with his energy, with his wisdom, with his experience? I think we in Kenya Kwanza should accommodate that experience, that advice, the counsel that he will give us. And I think it will help in bettering our country, in bettering our society, in bettering our management.
So he says that he needs to be accommodated, but he goes further to even give a prescription of what can happen based on what is available. Watch this.
We have cabinet secretaries who are doing exemplary well, who are tapped from Azimio la Umoja, let me just say ODM, for instance.
Yep.
And they have done a great job.
That's the
Raila Odinga.
We will correct that and play you the correct clip. But Mheshimiwa Mathengi, let me begin with you on this one. Is this the thinking in Kenya Kwanza? It's just Nelson Koech who believes that it's time to see how to accommodate Raila Odinga in government?
Sam, the question of accommodating eminent leaders in this country is not the debate that has been sparked by Nelson Koech. Back in 2021, in the run-up to the elections and the impending exit of retired President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, none other than Atwori spoke about accommodating Uhuru because he was young and he couldn't just be left to lie aloud, and his experience and his influence. So it is a conversation, maybe it got muted, but it is a conversation that has been in the minds of Kenyans. However, today, I want to bring in two aspects. One, there's a question of the broad-based government. And in the broad-based government, we largely saw the presence or the inclusion of the Raila axis in the current broad-based government. And therefore, there is a question as to whether there should be an expansion of the space in broad-based government. And should that expansion just cater for Raila, or it should cater for a larger inclusion of the face of Kenya? The second one is a very interesting phenomenon from where I sit, that Kenyans for the first time across the divide agreed that Raila is good value for this country. There are those who wanted Raila's good value to remain within the country, and that was exemplified by the media interviews of among the ordinary people who said we want Raila back home. Then there is apparently the leaders who are saying that Raila could serve both the country and the continent better as a AUC chairman. So we have consensus. For the first time, Raila is good for this country. So what as a country then should we do with this good Raila? This realization that apparently late in the day that we have come to agree on, then what, how should we utilize this goodness of Raila? Now that the AUC dream has hit a dead end, how should we accommodate him in the country so that he benefits the country? In my view, the best benefit we can accrue from Raila is analyzing our country where we are today and seeing how he can better contribute to the welfare of the country rather than keep him in abeyance and wait for 2027.
What are your thoughts? What is that?
Let's begin with the conversations about the position of a prime minister is not a reality today unless we go and change the constitution and the laws in the country. And therefore, and that is not something that would be done in a day. It would take time. So, and I want to go back to the Uhuru period, where he had an economic council, and he brought in the likes of Professor Kifutha Kibwana in that space. Is that the kind of thing that then, as a country, we need to look at? The time required to change the constitution and the structure of government would literally take us to 2027. Therefore, meaning if we are really serious about the country benefiting from Raila's acumen, experience, and competencies, then that would be too little, too late. It is a conversation as a country I think it would be desirable to have.
I find that interesting because you also said that we need expansion of space, that you already have broad-based government, but you need to expand it. What expansion are you talking about?
In broad-based government, in my mind, the best broad-based government is the government that is the government that we had when Kibaki took over power from Moi. It was, an across-the-board accommodation. We had initially Kibaki, Wamarwa, and Gilu on one side. Then Raila came, bringing in another axis of
LDP.
Nyanza, a bit of Kakamega in Oparanya, and a bit of Coast. So we literally saw the real, for the first time, during the initial Rainbow Coalition government, we saw the face of the country in government, in the executive. I think from where I stand, it is a desirable direction to take. Is it the moment? If it is the moment, then I would urge my country that we say is the moment.
Do you agree, Honorable Makali Mulu, that we need to accommodate Raila Odinga in the leadership of the country, in the government, instead of putting him in abeyance, like he says, until 2027?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. You know, Sam, if you look at the reason why we wanted Raila out there, is that we wanted him to serve Africa and leave the Kenyan scene for others to do their work. Now that we have hit a wall on that side, I think what we need to ask ourselves is, what options do we have for Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga? And I think, picking it up from where Mheshimiwa has left, what Mheshimiwa is saying is that Raila needs to be in the government, in the executive. That's what I'm picking. Yeah. Or in the government, because it's a political position. And that's just one of the options. That now that he's back, we could be able to accommodate him by, in short, approving the NATCO report. Because if you approve that report, then you'll have positions which you can easily occupy and allow Kenyans to benefit from the many years of experience. But there are also other options. The courts have already declared that Azimio is a majority coalition party in the House. With that declaration, the leader of Azimio on paper has always been Raila. So he could easily decide to come back and he take his rightful position, and with that position, claim what belongs to him. And I can tell you there are so many things which belong to him that in that position you'll even be able to enjoy a lot of benefits from by taking up that position. Because I think currently, if you see he comes that side, after his departure for AUC chairmanship, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka took over that position. And he has ably managed that position in terms of ensuring that the government is put on as checks and balances. Now, if he comes back, they could easily have a working formula so that at the end of the day, then he's no longer now working for the government. Now, the third option, which is also important, is the option of also retiring. He could come and just say, guys, I've been in this game for many years. I want to hang my boots and become an advisor to the upcoming young leaders like Senator here, who would go and seek counsel. And you can have another Munyoro there where people will just visit, be blessed, and they move on. And I think all these things have different repercussions and implications. For example, the last one of retiring, I think to me, the way I look at it, if he decides to retire, the only thing he will be taking home with him is that he will not have a chance to redeem his image from the Gen Zs. The way the Gen Zs look at him now, they look at somebody who betrayed them, betrayed the cause. So if he was to leave today, automatically then it means he will go very low from the young Kenyans, thinking that he fought so hard to have a better Kenya in terms of democratic issues, but he has left at the lowest level because he was able to join the government. Now, if he chooses number one, and to me that's what I want to do on, working with Ruto, because that's the first option. If he chooses to work with Ruto, there are things I see automatically happening. One thing is he has to claim more space for himself. So I see more people joining the broad-based government, but now from the side of Raila, him trying to push more people to join the government. And the way I see it is you have Raila working with Ruto, but in reality, the President of the Republic of Kenya will be Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, not Ruto. So he will be such a powerful person in that broad-based government that...
So these new people, what positions would they occupy now?
They will be displacing others. A number of them will have to leave to create room for others. And I tell you for sure, that's the way I look at it. One advantage of that, which I see is good for Kenya, is we will continue enjoying the peace we are enjoying. We will be able to stabilize the country because you'll have more people joining the government. And in that case, then the remaining 2 years will be remaining stable as a country. But what will happen is, because Ruto is very keen to get a 2027 re-election, he will be able to give so much space that he secures that, because I'm sure he believes with Raila on his corner, in his side of this, in his corner, automatically they are likely to get that. So these are the three scenarios I see where Raila coming back to Kenya, he could be able to choose an option, and depending on which option he chooses, I can tell you for sure a number of things will change. You've seen today, there's talk in the papers that Ruto has already accepted to create more room for the Azimio team to join, to take chairpersons of committees, even the committees which naturally would be taken by the majority side. And that is just to balance the issue of minority and majority. Because Wetangula did rule that Kenya Kwanza is the majority,
right?
And our coalition said we are going to impeach him. We are going to get him out of that position, so that, because the ruling was, we are not happy with the ruling.
Yes.
Now I think it's like they have settled on something. And you know, that's the problem. That's why you see Kenya will still be, today we are going to be hit hard by Kenyans when they see that.
We'll get to that particular conversation. I want us to first take a short break because it's just about 7 o'clock. But also we're receiving a message here from the former Speaker of the National Assembly, now Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi, saying that during my tenure as Speaker of the National Assembly, I had the honor of working alongside Honorable Njendi, whose commitment to legislative work was steadfast. His deep focus on education and the sugar industry reflected his tireless drive to improve the livelihoods of the people he served. He was a man who approached his duties with seriousness and purpose, always striving for meaningful impact, and sends his condolences to the family, friends, and the people of Malava constituency. That is in regards to our earlier conversation here on the passing of Malulu Njendi, but also on Senator Cheptumo. The former Speaker says that his dedication to serving the people of Baringo and the nation was evident in all he did. His leadership and commitment to progress will be dearly missed. And that's the story of the two parliamentarians that passed on Sunday and Monday, respectively. We're taking a short break. We'll come back with all this after this short break. Stay tuned.